Hello again. This is Corey Masisak out here at Kettler Capitals Iceplex with Ryan O'Halloran. So we've already talked about the two main players in this act. Sidney Crosby and Alex Ovechkin. Ryan, who are some of the other guys you think they're going to play a big part in this series?
Well, I think for Pittsburgh, the trade deadline pickup of Bill Guerin paid some immediate dividends. He's been through so many playoff wars. Sergei Gonchar, the former Cap, see how he can quarterback the power play. And then an obvious one is Marc-Andre Fleury, an up-and-down regular season. He got hot at the end, but how is he going to play in this series?
Yeah, honestly, we might have joked about it a little bit before, but the goaltenders really are probably going to be, maybe even turn out to be the biggest story in this series, just how they were in the first series. Is Semyon Varlamov going to continue to play the way he has, and really is Marc-Andre Fleury going to be able to play the way he did against the Flyers? Yeah,
and the Varlamov is an interesting one because he was unflappable during a low-scoring series, but what I'm going to be interested to see with him is how he handles a game where he may play great and still give up 4 goals, and a game turns into a north-south shootout. Will he get rattled at all? I would think not, because nothing's rattled him so far, but I mean, from your end, who are some of the Capitals that really have to play better than they did in the first series?
Well, I think, offensively anyway, I think Mike Green is a guy who kind of stands out. I think he was definitely focusing maybe a little more on his defensive play in the first round, but only getting 1 goal and a couple of assists from him probably isn't gonna cut it for the Caps. And honestly, they got a couple of goals from other guys in the last couple of games of the series, but they're still going to need more secondary scoring if they're going to be able to outgun the Penguins.
Yeah, and if anybody is out there in the metro area seen Thomas Fleischmann, tell him to come back to the rink because he was an absolute no-show during this series and still got ice time. So you got to have him pitch in. You got to have Backstrom didn't score a goal. He had 7 assists. Maybe he needs a pitch in or two, and that's what's going to take is the Plumbers are going to have to score again, and you can't count on Milan Yuchina scoring and Tom Poti getting 7 points this series.
Right, exactly. And obviously, another thing that we got to address is the kind of the sordid playoff history between these two teams. I mean, most of these guys haven't been around for this. Honestly, none of these guys have been around for the last time these two teams met. But 7 times in about 15 years. Six wins for the Penguins. At some point, that's probably going to come up in the series, right?
Yeah, I mean, the Capitals are due as an organization. And just looking at that history last year, something always happened. It'd be a 4 overtime winner by Nedved, or the Caps win the first 2 and then lose 4 straight. But I think we could safely say that most of those times Pittsburgh had the better personnel, whereas in this series, this really is a coin flip.
Okay, it's prediction time. What do you got?
I'm going to go Capitals in 6. I really have no particular reason why. I just think they play well on the road in the first round, so I don't think they would have a big problem trying to wrap up this series at home or on the road.
Right. I'll say this: given the way that they did play at home, they were pretty shaky at home. Obviously, they got to play better at home here. I think they will be good at Mellon Arena, just because I don't think there is as much of a home ice advantage there. Even like say at Madison Square Garden. I'll say if the Caps are going to win the series, they're going to do it in 6. Because I think if this series goes 7 games, like some people think, it's going to be hard for them to win another Game 7 on home ice, given the way that they played in the last Game 7. Would you agree?
Yes and no. I mean, they did play their worst game of the series the other night and still won. But Game 7s, with these two teams, you would think that you would just throw out the home ice advantage. So whoever played better that night. But I expect both teams to play well and win on the road in this series.
That's it from here. Thanks for watching, and check back later in the series. We'll be on here again.